Hi there, Simon from simonwoods.com. I have got 5 wines in front of me which I'm really looking forward to tasting. They're Madeira. Madeira, I don't know how often you drink Madeira, but however often you drink it, it probably isn't as often as it should be. I think it's a terrific wine style, and hopefully these 5 wines will demonstrate it. 4 of them come from Blandy's. Blandy's, founded in 1811, so it's their 200th anniversary this year. And to celebrate, from about 1989 onwards, they were the major shareholders was the Symingtons, the people who own Wars, Dow's and Graham's in the port houses. But then the Symingtons acquired Coburn's port recently and thought, okay, well maybe it's time to relinquish some of the control over the Madeira Wine Company, of which Blandy's is part. Who are the others? Cossack Gordon, Leacock and Miles. Or anyway, you can, if you want, you can look it up on Tinternet. But so the Blandy family is now back as a majority shareholder. But the first one is not from them. The first one is from Barbato, and it's their 2000. We're doing these in a weird order. Hopefully I've organised them in from the driest to the sweetest. And if you are a student of Madeira, you'll know that the driest Madeira is Cercial, then it goes Verdelho and Boal and Malmsey. Well, or it does if you grow those particular grape varieties. What they tend to do in Madeira is the ones for the richest, stickiest wines will be lowest down the slopes, and the one for the tangiest, most driest wines will be higher up the slope. But they've also got this other grape called Tinta Negra Mole. And this is an old vineyard of Tinta Negra Mole, and so it's spent 9 years in what they call the Cantero system, where the barrels gently, ever so gently heated at a very warm room temperature, which allows the Madeirization. So I don't know if you can see the colour from that against my multicoloured shirt, but it's not a very deep colour. Anyway, let's have a whirl. And it does smell quite fresh. The weird thing is, it reminds me almost of muscat. It's got like this barley sugar type of character. A barley sugar, and there's a richness, and you can feel the warmth to it. You also feel a bit of toastiness as well. Some nuts, and yeah, this gentle nuttiness. It smells like it's going to be quite rich but fresh. There's something almost peaty, almost like malt whiskey in there, and there's this freshness, this round nutty raisins, a bit of caramel, and yes, there's a touch of sweetness, but how do they describe it here? Medium dry. So I think if they don't use the classic Madeira grape varieties, I think it goes dry, medium dry, rich, dry, or medium rich, and then rich. So this is sort of like the equivalent of Verdelho standard, just below halfway in the sweetness scale. But it doesn't come across as being out and out sweet. It's got this the vanilla, the barley sugar. It reminds me of things like reef salt in Roussillon. So it's got this freshness, but yeah, the lovely nuttiness, and fascinating on the back label. I don't know who's written these, but let's say their importers are from the north, because it says it's excellent when served with starters such as pâté, foie gras. It says that in the Portuguese bit as well, but then the English version goes on to say duck confit, Welsh rabbit, game terrine or Yorkshire pudding and onion gravy. Bonza, ripper. Well, it was Yorkshire Day yesterday, so maybe I should have opened it yesterday and polished off the bottle with my mushy peas. But I didn't. But I wouldn't be surprised if that bottle doesn't last all that long. Although the weird thing is, Madeira does last pretty well once it's opened, because it's done its Madeirization in bottle. It doesn't really. It's pretty stable, so it hangs around it can hang around happily for a few weeks. Not in my house, it won't though. Okay, let's go on to a Boal. So this is the third tier. So it goes, you remember, Cercial, Verdelho, Boal, Madeira, Malmsey, the sweetest. But it's their 1991 single harvest from Blandy. Again, quite pale in colour. Sometimes you think of Madeira as having a bit more colour than this, but sometimes those are the mass-produced ones that have a few additions. Shall we say? Now here it's got what I call the Madeira scalp itch. There's a bit of iodine here. It feels like it's going to be a richer, fuller-bodied wine than the one before. Is it going to be sweet, or is it just going to give that impression of sweeter? The weird thing is, when you put a sweet wine away to age, it almost seems to get less sweet with time. So we're 9 years older here, and I'd say that honestly the first one smelt like it was going to be sweeter than this does. But it's got this lovely, nutty, mahogany furniture type of allure. What's not to like? It's lovely, nutty, rich. It's got what I call fruitcake sweetness. So fruitcake tinged with some of those herbs like cinnamon and a bit of cloves in there too. And it's got the almonds. It's got the raisins, walnuts, and a juiciness. It's got this. Madeira has always got this lovely freshness. You're quite far south on the island of Madeira, but it's pretty out there in the middle of the ocean, and they pick the grapes really quite early. And if you try the base wines, they can feel a little bit butter clenching with their acidity. But it's that acidity that keeps it going, and it's the Madeirization process, the slow aging with a little bit of heat there, that transforms it into something like this. Absolutely delicious, and I mean the Barbato was nice. This is just even more grown up, and it's what I call my match of the day wine. If I'm looking for something. If I had a bottle of wine during the evening meal, and then packed the wife off to bed, and I want a glass of something, and a glass of that is absolutely perfect. Let's see how we get on with the next blandest one, which is probably a step down in quality but a step up in sweetness. So it's the Alvada, a modern face of packaging for Madeira. And what I was saying about the colour, you can see we're a much darker, deeper colour here against my ideal shirt. Yeah, this is more on the caramel, treacle toffee side. It feels like, it's in short trousers compared with the Boile. It does feel like it's going to be richer and sweeter, but nowhere near as classy. And the price obviously indicates that. I think the other one's about 3 times the price or more. But still got a nice rounded, nutty, almost coffee and vanilla type of sheen to it. I tasted some Sangiovese from central Italy recently, and I described it as almost being a bit like Tia Maria, and it's got a touch of that slightly exotic coffee, walnut, bit of volatility character coming through. It is on the simple side, especially after that one, but it's quite a wholesome drink, and I wouldn't actually mind that with some chocolate pudding or something like that. So good, but a bit of a climb down. Let's see if we can climb up again with the next one. So this is their Harvest 2004 Malmsey. So the last two are Malmsey. So we've got a 2004, and then we've got a 1992. Again, quite deep in colour. So as with Tawny Port, the Alvada, the one that says 5 years old, what they'll have done is they'll have blended some older and younger wines to develop the style of something that tastes as if it's 5 years old. This one here is a single harvest. Two things I noticed. First of all, the colour's not quite as deep as the one that is supposedly a couple of years, 2 or 3 years younger. And also it smells a little bit more subtle. So whereas here maybe it was just that little bit too forceful and treacle toffee-like, there's a little bit more softness here. That's a bit of a winter warmer, that one. It's got this, I feel a bit of the touch of the spirit coming through there, and it gives it this rounded, ever so slightly fiery edge to this quite plush treacle toffee, baked apples. No, more like toffee apples. If you remember bonfire night and having toffee apples, and that sort of like you pull it off the greaseproof paper, and there's that bit that just sort of like gets there's like stalactites and stalagmites of toffee sauce. It's got that type of character, so the warm apple, but with this toffee edge in there too. I like its freshness and brightness as a Madeira, never short of acidity, and it's not hugely classy. I mean, the Boile is the class act so far, but it's a step up from the Alvada, and it's pretty tasty wine. And bring me some hard cheese, and I'd sit down there with a hunk of Parmesan or a hunk of really mature Gouda or cheddar, and probably drink a little bit too much. But I also wouldn't say no to it with some walnut cake or Christmas cake. Oh dear. Now I'm going to have to do this again. I've just pulled the top off there, and the cork stayed in. So in the meantime, here is some music. I'll be back in a moment. Okay, we're back. I managed to get my little cork out, and the problem with this is because it'll be very difficult once I put it back in to pull it out again. I might be forced to drink it quite quickly, but let's see whether that's going to be the hardship. So this is the Collita Malmsey, the brother of the 1991 Boal. This is a year younger, 1992. Now I was talking before about the way in which, as the wines age, they lose their apparent sweetness and seem to get drier. Compared with the Malmsey that came before, this smells like it's going to be more profound but drier, richer flavours, broader, more fabulous flavours. It smells terrific. It's got this edge of what I call the old furniture, the old well-polished furniture. But yes, all these fruitcake ingredients in there, complete with a little bit of the. If you imagine when you're mixing fruitcake, you get that smell of the eggy sponge mix. There is that coming through too. I'm ashamed to say I didn't spit that out. That is, it's got richness. It's got. It's a sweet wine, but it's elegant, it's lively, it's got lovely poise and delicacy. It's it's got this daintiness. It has got experience, but it really has got this fabulous all-round flavour. All those fruitcake spices, the furniture, and the kitchen sink thrown in there for good measure. Again, some of this toffee apple character, but the thing that you're left with is this lovely finish, this mixture of richness and fresh acidity. Your mouth is just left entertained. It's thinking, right, okay, when's the next bit coming? Please, may I have some more? So yes, sweeter than the Boal, but because of that, the lovely way in which it's been aged, it's not coming across as a sweet wine. It's just coming across as a lovely, rich, very much a match of the day wine. I will probably try and keep that to myself. I might force some on my wife every now and then, but I think I will probably have more than my fair share of that bottle. See you soon.